Okay, time for a new video, and whether you are somebody new to my channel or you are returning to my channel to watch this video, it is greatly appreciated. As always, I'm filming this video in one go, so if I stumble over my words going forwards, I apologise about that. And also, if the quality of this video is fairly poor as well, if there's any lag, anything like that at all, sadly it cannot be helped, and hopefully it is not too much of an issue for you. This is yet another Eurovision related video here on my channel, and it is time for the Q&A video that I said would be coming. A few days ago I put a short video up on my channel asking you to leave questions if you so wanted, and I have that video up in front of me and I'm just going to answer them in this particular video. If you didn't get a question in time, don't worry, because about 6 months from now there'll probably be another Q&A video here on my channel. And I've noticed that I'm not too far away from 500 subscribers as well. Now, I don't usually talk about this sort of thing because, to be honest, it doesn't really bother me that much. But to reach 500 subscribers by the end of this Eurovision season, I think is very achievable. It would be a very nice thing to accomplish with my channel. So let's see if we can get there. It would just be a very nice little thing, I suppose. I've been making videos for a good few years now. This channel will always be very small, and the quality may not ever really be that fantastic, but that's fine by me. It's just a hobby, and I think there's a nice little community regarding this channel, which pleases me greatly. So 500 subscribers is the aim. At the moment it's 483 apparently, which is not too bad at all, I suppose. And if you are somebody new to my channel watching this video, feel free to check out my previous content, subscribe if you want, leave a like, share, it's all much appreciated. With that being said, I'm going to just mention one other thing, which is that in my announcement video the other day where I spoke about doing this Q&A, I said that I was maybe going to take a bit more of a step back from Eurovision related content this season. I'm going to stick with the videos because I enjoy making them, but I think just searching for Eurovision related news all the time is an exaggeration, but a lot of the time I'm just going through Eurovision related news on the internet and scrolling through tweets, and it just gets dull. So I think I'm going to try and stop doing that as much this particular year and in the future. But of course, I am interested in the competition still. That hasn't changed, and I'm hoping that we get some really good national final songs as we move through the next couple of weeks, because at the moment I think the quality is a little bit so-so. Finland's impressing, but a lot of other countries have disappointed so far. With that being said, and I'm starting to ramble, let's go through the questions that you've left. Much appreciated. So the first one here is by Saul Brown, and it says, what are your thoughts on the American Song Contest? Will you watch it? Well, to answer the second part of that question, I don't even know where it's being broadcast. I think it's on Netflix for non-American viewers. I don't even have Netflix, so I don't think I'm going to be able to watch it. I would assume the whole show, or shows, because I think there's definitely more than one, will be online. The songs will, certainly. So I'll check them out that way. In terms of my general thoughts on the American Song Contest, I'm amazed it's taken this long for there to be one. As far as I'm concerned, it could be a huge hit in America. The idea of a singer from every state facing off against all of the other states. It could be very competitive. It could be very flamboyant. It could certainly be a huge success. I wouldn't be surprised if in a few years it turns out that way, but you've also got to promote the hell out of it. I've also seen that one of the shows, I think the final, is coinciding with one of the Eurovision semi-finals in Turin in May, which is very odd to me, because clearly the interest is going to be on the show in Turin and not the American Song Contest. And you're not really going to be able to watch both necessarily. So I think that's a bit of a strange choice. But I am interested in hearing the songs, and I'm interested to see how it all comes together. I've no idea of the format, really. I haven't looked into it in any great depth. But I think it's an okay idea. Kat Wellham hasn't left a question but suggested talking about my favourite books and films in future videos. That is something I might well do. I've got plenty of books, as you can see in the background of my videos, and I've got loads of movies as well, so I don't mind talking about some of them if enough people are interested. Something I might do in the near future is read some of my original writings aloud, because they do actually tie in with Eurovision a little bit, at least the poems that I'm thinking of. So that's something that might be coming onto my channel in the near future. The next question from UK Iddin Me, or You Kidding Me, is do you think the UK song quality would improve if they had to qualify from the semi-finals? No, is the simple answer. I don't think for 1 minute it would improve. I saw a tweet the other day. This is a little bit unrelated perhaps, because it doesn't involve the semi-finals, but somebody on Twitter put up something saying that they'd heard from a family member or something like that, that the UK at this point still haven't got a clue what their approach is for the upcoming contest in Turin. Now, whether that's truthful or not, I've no idea, because you can't believe half of what you read on the internet unless it's from a very reliable source. But if that does turn out to be true, and I suppose we'll never know, that's incredibly disappointing. Very, very disappointing indeed. I don't think the song quality would improve 1 bit. Not at all. You've also left a very nice comment underneath that, saying that you enjoy my videos very much. Thank you very much indeed. What else have we got here? I'm just looking specifically for questions. Galaxy Rich says, do you think Belgium, your country, will win a Eurovision Song Contest ever again? I don't see why not. We've had some cracking songs from Belgium over the years. Loic Notte, Rhythm Inside, Blanche, Senek, even though she didn't qualify. Hooverphonic, yeah, a disappointing result in Rotterdam last year, but a very good song. So my answer is yes, I do think Belgium will win again at some point, but Eurovision is such a difficult competition to win because you have about 40 countries every year participating, and there's only one winner. But if you have a brilliant, brilliant song and people outside Belgium get behind it, the votes will hopefully pour in. Antwerp 2023, here we come. I mean, it's certainly possible, who knows? DanClam1796 says, do you think that the EBU should consider reintroducing some sort of regulation that protects local languages in the national finals? I'm not sure it's really within the EBU's power to say to a broadcaster in any country, you must have all the songs or most of the songs in your native language. I think that solely lies with the broadcaster. Now, obviously, some countries have their own rules and regulations in place. It's been that way for a while. I know in Iceland, in the semi-finals, you have to sing in Icelandic, but for the final, you can change your song into English if you want. In France, I think there's a language rule, and some other countries definitely have language rules as well, or have done in the past. You've said if it were just for me, I would go back and reintroduce the language rule, but I know not everyone likes the idea. However, what about making sure that in each national final there has to be a minimum percentage of songs in languages that represent the country? As I just said, I think that is a rule in some places, and yeah, I'm all for that. I mean, with Melfest, for example, there's, 28 songs in the Swedish selection every year, so half of 28 is 13, 14, my maths is terrible, something like that. So that would be, half the songs in Swedish or mostly in Swedish. And I do think Melfest not only needs more variety in terms of the genres of songs on offer, but in terms of language. I mean, Sweden, it would be lovely to see them send a song in their own language. Is it going to happen anytime soon? Is it hell? But I'm all for it. But you're only going to get that chance if your national final has those Swedish language songs in the first place. So yeah, in that respect, I don't know whether I'd reintroduce it myself if I was in charge of a national final, but I'd certainly strongly consider it, and I'd gauge public response to that question as well. Then you've said, or making sure that in internal selections at least a certain number of songs in language is considered. Again, that's at the discretion of the broadcaster. If I was at the BBC here in the UK, then I would absolutely be looking for songs in Welsh and Gaelic and Scots Gaelic and things like that. I absolutely would, because if you're looking for diversity, you have to be looking at songs in those languages. Otherwise, you're not really doing it properly, as far as I'm concerned. You know, in France, songs in Breton, songs in Corsican. In Spain, obviously, one of the hot favourites for Spain this year is a song that has lyrics in a variety of different dialects, such as Galician, which is the main one. So, yes, artists have to submit songs in those languages in the first place, but there's no harm in having a good look to see which musicians sing in those languages and inviting them to participate if they want to do it. It's a little bit complicated. It would be quite a lengthy process every year, but I think it's maybe worth it. You've got to have that diversity. Looking at how different countries are tackling this, I see a lot of inconsistency. UMK has a decent half and half of songs in language and English, but other selections, like in Latvia, English is prominent even with a bigger selection. Absolutely. I think singing in English is better in a way because more people can understand the message of the song. Not that lyrics really matter at all, I've said this before. But I am surprised in Latvia that we don't get more songs in Latvian. I think they've only ever performed at Eurovision with a song in their own language once in 2004, I think. Look at Azerbaijan. We don't really get songs in Azerbaijani, do we? Which is a tremendous shame as well. Do you have an opinion on this? I've just given it. And do you think that there are other ways to promote language diversity in Eurovision? I don't really know. I'd have to think about that off camera. But the more languages, the merrier. It's as simple as that. What else have we got here? The Peace Around, great channel, says, my question to you is, which national final or finals has been your favourite of all time, where almost every single song is a song you'd listen to more than once? If we're talking about a specific national final, in all the years I've been watching the show, the answer is there isn't one. I don't think there's ever been a single national final in which I've loved every single song and listened to them more than once. I don't think so whatsoever. Saying that, UMK this year, there's only one more song to go and I like every song so far, so maybe this year UMK is going to be the first that I can think of national final where I do enjoy every single song for what it's worth. In terms of national finals in general, even though there's not a whole load of diversity, I do enjoy Melfest, and I've ranked the songs every year of my lifetime. Let me know if you're interested in a video about that, talking about Melfest 1995, why not? I usually like Norway's MGP, I usually like UMK, Songvakeppnin in Iceland, Eesti Laul is one of my favourites, and I usually like Sanremo, absolutely. In fact, I have been delving into the Sanremo archives a little bit in my own time, and I am very interested in maybe talking about older editions of Sanremo on my channel, because I was looking at the statistics and it seems as though most of my viewers aren't from the UK, which is where I'm from, but Italy. So any Italian subscribers or viewers, let me know if you want me to take a look at some older editions of Sanremo. Leave songs down below that you think I should listen to. I'm very, very interested in that. But yes, in terms of a specific national final from all the years I've been watching, I don't think there is one. I certainly can't think of one. I only really started paying attention to national finals about a decade ago. There is a song there's a couple of songs from MGP from 2012-2013 that I really enjoy. Dance Tonight by the Black Sheeps, that was actually 2011. That's one of the first national final songs I really enjoyed, although I think I discovered it a year or two later. The Lucky Bullets, Fire Below, that was in Norway, that was 2011 as well, a sort of rockabilly track, worth checking it out. There's a couple from Sanremo. Annalisa's debut, Scintille, is really good. And Adeline Bombo was the runner-up in MGP in 2013. That's a really good song. I've followed her career ever since. Yeah, there's a few from Norway's selection. The earliest national final songs I remember, the majority are from Norway. Although Sleepless by Anne Noah, Denmark, 2011. That was the runner-up. That's one of my all-time favourite national final tracks. And there's a few more. Vivo Sospesa by Natalie. That was in Sanremo, I think, in 2011 or 2012. Red-haired singer, piano, if I recall. Very good. So yes, I actually put on my Twitter page earlier today, at the time of recording this, a thread of Sanremo songs that I've enjoyed over the years. Check it out if you so wish. But yeah, I've gone off on a massive tangent there. Moving on. Yeah, lots of nice comments saying just film whatever I like, so thank you for that. Min Hinstidans, Iceland 1997, I see what you've done there. Your question is, how does your personal music taste reflect your taste in Eurovision? Well, I listen to a lot of rock music and pop rock and indie stuff. So if there's a song like that in a national final, I'm all for it. Saying that, the older I get, the more I do think I am gravitating towards slower paced music, jazzy stuff. I do listen to jazz. Do we get jazz in Eurovision? No, we flaming well don't. Not really, which is a terrible shame. I don't understand why. Take that risk. You've said that you find yourself loving so-called pop bangers in Eurovision, but you mainly listen to goth rock, doom metal and shoegaze outside Eurovision. I just listen to a bit of everything, really, outside of Eurovision. So there's not a whole lot when it comes to the contest that I'm totally not interested in. I don't really like R&B, hip-hop, rap. I'm not a huge fan of that. So if that was to be involved in a national final or an internal choice, I don't think I'd be loving it. But for me, if there's a rock song, fantastic. Which is probably why I like Cyan Kicks, who are involved in UMK this year, and the Rasmus. Great stuff. Great stuff. You've also said, do you consider Eurovision to be a genre in itself? Not really, because Eurovision is just a bit of every genre thrown into the pot, if you see what I mean. It's not really its own specific thing. I know that most Eurovision music is generally classified as Schlager, which is, I suppose, somewhat buoyant pop is maybe the best way to describe it. But I think we've moved past that era. Schlager pop was mainly, mid-70s into the late 90s, I suppose, early 2000s. I think now we get a little bit more diversity, and long may that continue. You've said Eurovision has really expanded your overall music taste. One of the great things about Eurovision is discovery of new artists. It's as simple as that. There are so many great musicians across Europe that people in the UK are totally oblivious to. The vast majority of people here in the UK have no idea who these artists are. Even musicians who haven't been at Eurovision but have been linked with Eurovision. For example, Stromae in Belgium is a huge star. He is one of the biggest European singers. And yet here in the UK, barely anybody knows who he is, which is a tremendous shame. And I'm not saying it's ignorance, but I think it's just really wonderful to discover new musicians from other countries. Even if they don't go on to much success in their homeland, it's still great discovering new music, new genres, new styles. I'm all for it. And then the last question or two comes from Mats. And your question, plural, questions plural, is, do you think Eurovision will be more or less popular in 10 years? I think it will be more popular. Thanks to the growth in social media, Eurovision's everywhere at this time of year. Obviously in May, you can't really avoid it if you're a Eurovision fan, nor do you really want to avoid it, I suppose. I think it will become more popular. I mean, just compared to 20 years ago, it's extraordinary how much in popularity the contest has grown. That will continue. What is needed for Eurovision to stay relevant? You could argue big names. But I think just having that diversity. We've only ever had one black musician win. I think. The show's been going for 60 plus years. We've only ever really had 2 rock songs win. We've never had a jazzy song win. Well, I suppose you could say 1963 Denmark's a little bit jazzy. Danse Visa. That was ahead of its time. But, yeah, national finals in particular, there must be more variety and more promotion of homegrown talent. I read the other day, Moldova, pretty much all of the songs have come from non-Moldovan composers or musicians. Now, I know Moldova's a small place, but come on! Promote that homegrown talent. What's the problem? Does nobody want to do it? Shocking. If Andorra come back to the contest, I would be hoping for Andorran musicians, absolutely. San Marino, I know that there's a few San Marino born or living in San Marino musicians involved, which is great, but not a huge amount, I don't think. Still, I suppose we have to be thankful we're getting any musicians from San Marino showing interest. But, yeah, I think in order to stay relevant, promotion of homegrown talent is maybe a big one. If you are an up-and-coming musician with a great voice, great stage presence, great music already there, and you want to do Eurovision, it's a huge opportunity for you to boost your profile in your homeland and further afield. And I don't see why anybody would turn that down. Oh, I'm worried about getting null points. That might happen. But if the broadcaster and you yourself have full faith in yourself, then go for it. Absolutely, full throttle. Why not? That's what I'm hoping the BBC are doing behind the scenes as I speak. I hope that they are looking at the greatest young musicians, so 25 or younger, I suppose, the greatest young musicians across the UK, and asking them, do you want to do it? Are you interested? You write the song, you're in control. If you're interested, stay in touch. You know, it's not hard. And I don't think broadcasters should be afraid to ask musicians, even if there's a national final and it's just musicians submitting songs. The broadcaster should say, right, wouldn't it be great if this person did it? Let's ask them. Why the hell not? If I was in charge at the BBC and the selection committee and the delegation, all of that business, if I was overseeing it, I would have a long list of names and I'd be asking every single one. And surely, hopefully, a few of them would say yes. If I said, you're in control, write the song, you tell us how you want to promote it, and let's make a real go of this. Absolutely. That would be wonderful to see. That was a massive tangent. I've totally gone off the point. You said what is needed for Eurovision to stay relevant. The simple answer is promotion of homegrown talent and promotion of the contest in general, because some countries, including the UK, I think, have a very negative attitude towards Eurovision, and it needs to be turned into a positive. It's the biggest singing competition in the world. Why would you not take it seriously? Why would you not want to do well in it? It's as simple as that. Anyway, I think that's all the questions. I think so. If I'm missing one, I do apologise. But there we are. Thank you very much to everybody who left a question, and there'll be another Q&A video on my channel later in the year, no doubt. There may be another video from me later today, because I believe we're getting snippets of some of the Slovenian contenders. Some today, some tomorrow, something like that. I don't even really know. I might not even film my reaction. I've no idea. But you might see a video from me about Slovenia. You might not. We'll wait and see. Anyway, I'm rambling too much now. Hopefully the quality wasn't too bad. And hopefully you enjoyed my answers to your questions. Until next time, take care of yourself, stay safe, and I'll be back with more content soon, all being well. Bye for now.